How to create consolidated e-invoices. Introduction. In Malaysia, a consolidated e-invoice is utilized when the buyer does not require an e-invoice. In such cases, the supplier issues a standard receipt, bill, or invoice to the buyer, consistent with current business practices. However, these documents do not need to be submitted for validation by the Inland Revenue Board of Malaysia or IRBM, as they are not considered e-invoices. A consolidated e-invoice allows the supplier to aggregate these transactions on a monthly basis. The supplier then submits this consolidated e-invoice to the IRBM within 7 calendar days after the end of the month. This ensures that all transactions are accurately reported, even if individual e-invoices are not requested by the buyers. Solution. Step 1. Go to e-Invoice module, click e-Invoice settings, then set the effective date. By default, system generate consolidated e-invoice by all locations. Change to separate locations if you want to submit by different locations. Step 2. In the e-Invoice module, Consolidated e-Invoice, system separates consolidated e-invoices into sales and self-billed categories. Let's say we generate for consolidated e-invoice sales. Click on it. System displays a reminder indicates some industries is not allowed to proceed consolidated e-invoice. Read carefully before proceed. User can tick Do Not Show Again after reading, then click Next. Step 3. Next, system will generate the consolidated e-invoice. Let's say the document date is December. System will display the transaction period as November 2024. If user try to generate for the same month transactions, system will not allow to proceed and prompt the message as below. Remark. Suppose you have multiple sales transactions dated throughout December. The system will prevent you from generating a consolidated e-invoice for these transactions if you attempt to do so within December. Instead, you would need to wait until January to consolidate and report all December transactions. Let's say user has generated successfully. System displays the sales invoice and cash sales in the consolidated e-invoice transaction screens. User can verify the details and zoom in for details check. Step 4. Click Submit e-Invoice button for submission. System will update the e-invoice status and information accordingly. Click on the Info button to view for the details. Step 5. Click on Preview button to view for the output. Step 6. Click Search button to view consolidated e-invoice listing view. Note 1. System separates sales invoices and cash into one transaction, sales debit notes into another, and sales credit notes into a third transaction. Note 2. Location is all location as follow the setting in step number 1. Regenerate. Click Regenerate button before e-invoice submission to keep records updated. For example, user generates a transaction on January, but later finds a missing cash sale and backdates it to December. They can click the Regenerate button in the particular transaction in Consolidated e-Invoice. This ensures the system includes the newly updated document in the list. Remove details. User can remove the particular transaction from the list. It will not delete the original transaction instead. User can still generate that transaction in another transaction. Consolidated, self-billed. When generating a self-billed transaction, a screen will appear similar to the one for consolidated sales e-invoices, but with an additional option where you must select the self-billed type. Option 1. User has options to generate all self-billed type into one transaction by selecting on Select All. The output of selecting self-billed type Select All. Option 2. Generate separately by each self-billed type. The output of selecting self-billed type individually. Same as consolidated sales, you can click on Submit e-Invoice for submission. And that's how you can easily create consolidated e-invoices in quick and easy steps. For more information, click the link below to download these steps in a PDF form. See you in our next video. QNE Optimum, your trusted partner in simplifying accounting. E-Invoice ready.